What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and we have really big news today. Breaking news for those of you who may be like me and have been waiting for Marvel Studios to finally make a Thunderbolts movie. It looks like this wait is over and the movie is finally being made. But get this, according to recent reports, this movie might be like the Suicide Squad. And that begs the question, since Marvel has kind of been going down a little bit more of a darker path lately with Multiverse of Madness and Moon Knight, the question, is this going to be rated R? Some fans might prefer that, some fans might not, but we're going to talk about everything that we know so far about the Thunderbolts in the MCU, go over this report that states that this movie is finally in development, and talk about who the members of the Thunderbolts could be. So let's dive into it, and of course, if you're new and you love Marvel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news and videos. So for those who want to know at what stage of development the Thunderbolts movie is in, 1, yes, it is official, and 2, it's so official that they have the director already for the upcoming project. And for those wondering if this was going to be a movie or Disney Plus show, we have our answer. It is going to be a movie. This is coming directly from Deadline.com, and the title for the article literally reads, Marvel's Thunderbolts movie taps Jake Shreier as director, and I probably said that name wrong, I apologize. So it's official, we have our Thunderbolts movie coming to the MCU, it is officially in development, and they have a director. But guess what, they also have a writer for the project already as well. And this one might be a little bit controversial to some people, because the Deadline article reads, Marvel Studios' top secret Thunderbolts movie looks to have gained momentum as Deadline has learned that Jake Shreier is set as a director of the new Marvel tentpole. And then it says, Black Widow scribe Eric Pearson is penning the script with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige producing. Now, I already tweeted this out on Twitter and put it out on Instagram, and if you're not following me, you should be. But people are already commenting that the Black Widow writer is not a good thing because some people didn't like Black Widow, but a lot of people really did like Black Widow. And you have to keep in mind that this is an entirely different movie, and the pandemic is not really going to affect this movie, whereas Black Widow seriously got affected by the pandemic. So let's keep an open mind. Kevin Feige, of course, is producing, and so far what we know about the Thunderbolts is pretty dang good. All of the characters that have been set up in the MCU to be a part of the team are awesome. And this article actually provides us with a little bit more details, so let's continue to read. It says, not much is known about the plot of the film other than it revolving around a group of supervillains, or at least characters who have played bad guys at one point in the MCU, who go on missions for the government. The other element that is vague is which characters will be a part of this team since its film is technically still in development, though sources say Marvel has been in touch with certain individuals who are already a part of the MCU to make sure that they keep an opening in their schedules for next summer when it shoots. So we are actually getting this movie sooner rather than later because it is about to shoot next summer. So we are getting this movie within the next 2 years, and that's good because there's a little bit more setup the MCU has to do for the full Thunderbolts team. But let's continue to read. It says, that said, some of the characters that could potentially be starring or making some sort of appearance are Baron Zemo, Yelena Belova, Ghost, Taskmaster, The Abomination, U.S. Agent, and Winter Soldier. And we'll talk about that lineup in just a bit, but I think it's important to note that one of the final paragraphs of this article says, while the town has been buzzing about the Fantastic Four directing search, which has only begun meeting potential candidates, the studio has been quietly focused on Thunderbolts, and according to insiders, Shreier's presentation in recent weeks blew away execs and ultimately landed him the job. So that is extremely good news. The presentation for the Thunderbolts blew away the Marvel Studios executives. This is a big deal. This is an entirely new team. This isn't a one character Disney Plus show, a one character or a couple of characters movie. This is a full team. This is basically a new Avengers team, except they're pretty much the Dark Avengers. It's been rumored for some time now that the Dark Avengers and the Thunderbolts were kind of going to be thrown into one team, and if that is the case, it definitely looks like their name is going to be the Thunderbolts. Now, the Thunderbolts in the comics are named after Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. We, of course, have seen Thunderbolt Ross in recent MCU films, Black Widow being one of them. Now, sadly, the actor that played Thunderbolt Ross, William Hurt, has passed away. He passed away of March this year. So it might be a little up in the air if Thunderbolt Ross is going to be the person who brings this team together, especially if you consider the fact that they do have Valentina Allegra de Fontaine out there recruiting for, we assume, the Thunderbolts. Now, Valentina first appeared in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She recruited John Walker and she actually gave him his new title of U.S. Agent. From there, we assume that she was forming some type of dark team, presumably the Thunderbolts. We then saw her again in the post-credit scene for Black Widow, where we saw her talking to Yelena Belova. And in this post-credit scene, Yelena was already working for her. And then, of course, she gave her the folder of Hawkeye, told her that Hawkeye is the one responsible for the death of Natasha, and sent Yelena to go kill him. So, if Valentina is the one putting together the Thunderbolts, which it really does seem like that, it's not going to be all good. Because technically, Valentina has already tried to get Hawkeye killed, and we know, of course, Hawkeye is a great guy. He has been defending the planet for a very long time now. He's an original Avenger. And Valentina tried to get Yelena to kill him, but that's why they're the Thunderbolts. They're going to be doing the dirty work, which is one of the most exciting things about this group. They're kind of the opposite of the Avengers. And here's where things get really exciting for me. In this article, they state, the film is technically still in development, so no talent have closed deals yet, but Marvel sees this as their version of the Suicide Squad. And some characters you could probably expect on the team include Yelena Belova, Taskmaster, US Agent, and Zemo, among others. Now, Zemo already had connections to Valentina, so I am assuming that she is going to be a part of the group. Yelena technically already kind of is a part of the group, and US Agent, we saw him get recruited. Now, since Taskmaster went with the other Black Widows at the end of Black Widow, I am kind of assuming that she probably works for Valentina as well, which makes it pretty easy for Taskmaster to join the Thunderbolts. The only question I have right now about who's going to be on the team is whether or not they're going to put Red Hulk on the team. Red Hulk in the comics, of course, is Thunderbolt Ross, and like I just mentioned, William Hurt has recently died. Now, of course, there are options. They could recast the character, or they could simply use CGI. After all, they did kind of use CGI in Black Widow on William Hurt. Plus, when Red Hulk is in Red Hulk form, that's gonna be mocap anyways. Mark Ruffalo isn't actually the Hulk. So, Red Hulk can be done using technology, no problem whatsoever. The only question is, are they going to keep Thunderbolt Ross around, and will he be a part of the team as Red Hulk? And I'm inclined to say yes, since Deadline is saying that this is a Thunderbolts movie. So if it's titled Thunderbolts, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's titled after Thunderbolt Ross forming the group. And side note, I still think Valentina works for him, just kind of, secretly on the side to do his dirty work. But this is extremely exciting news. We've all been waiting for an announcement for the Thunderbolts movie. We had heard rumors for a while that it's going to be coming, and now we finally have an official announcement. D23 is coming up very soon. Perhaps they will do a whole new reveal of a new phase of Marvel Studios, and hopefully they will announce it then. But in the meantime, let me know how excited you are for a Thunderbolts movie in the comments down below, and let me know what members you would like to see on it. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date on all things Marvel and MCU. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.